Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 19 of Quattroporte, the review series for the sports saloons and super saloons of Gran Turismo 6. And in this episode we're actually featuring, interestingly enough, the most expensive super saloon in the game. And that may surprise some, because it's a car which many people don't even give a second thought to from what I've seen. It comes from Mitsubishi, originally of course. It's the Mitsubishi Evo 6, and this version in particular is aftermarket tuned by MiNE'S, a very well respected tuning house. They have quite a refreshing approach to tuning. Many tuning companies go a bit crazy with the looks. MiNE'S is relatively restrained. They have quite a simple, classy look, and they make the cars good. They don't try to make them insane, they just make them good. They take cars which are already good and make them better. Does it justify the price though? Is this car actually worth being the most expensive sports saloon in the game? Because this is a 150 grand car. That's more than a C63, more than an E55, more than an M5, and a lot more than a Dodge Charger. All of which we've established before, either directly or indirectly in the series, are very, very strong cars. Is this car worth more than all of those? Well, let's consider what it does have to offer. It has the 2-litre turbo engine, as you'd expect from an Evo, the trademark all-wheel drive, and in many ways it is just a traditional Evo that's turned up to 11, basically. It takes what the Evo is already known for, such as acceleration and handling, and improves that. It doesn't try to make the car something that it's not. It doesn't turn it into a top speed racer or some kind of drag machine. It just makes it a better incarnation of what the Evo is already good at. And as such, it is a very, very good track machine. It has excellent handling. It's very forgiving, especially for less experienced drivers, especially considering how much power it has. And it has phenomenal grip and great acceleration, all of which you would probably expect from an Evo. Now there is a reasonable power hike on this car compared to the standard fully tuned Evo 6, which is of course a premium model, whereas this car isn't, unfortunately. This car puts out 591 horsepower fully tuned and over 400 pound-feet of torque. It weighs in at just over 1100 kilos, and thanks to that relatively low weight, puts out 530 horsepower per tonne, which is pretty good, especially for what is far from being the most powerful of sports saloons. The PP sits at 580, which again I would say is pretty good. You wouldn't really want it to be much higher than that, but it's definitely justified in being at that level. The performance is very strong, especially around twisty tracks, again, as you'd probably expect it to be from an Evo, especially an older Evo. But you do need to be aware, if you're thinking about buying this car, of the drawbacks. Now, the car isn't bad in any particular way, and it's not even lacking, I wouldn't say, in any particular way. It's just the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, MiNE'S don't make crazy cars. They take cars which are already good and make them better. So this car, as good as it is far from being the best super saloon in the game. It's just not. It doesn't have a very strong top speed compared to many of the other saloons. The acceleration, although good, is far from being the best. And even around the track, which is this car's strongest point, there are many other saloons which it could not beat. So is it worth 150k? Well, it depends. That really does depend on what kind of person you are. If you're looking purely for value for money and for a strong winning saloon, I would say no. Not that it's not worth it, but I just wouldn't recommend it for you. If, however, you're specifically a fan of either the Evo in general or specifically MiNE'S tuning, well then of course I would say yes, the car is worth the money and worth buying if that's what you're into. So really this is a car which I would say is, to some degree, a collector's piece. It's for fans of the car, fans of the tuning company, and for people who don't really care about it being the best, they just like the car. So if you are looking for a pure winning machine, or a machine that has big numbers, I wouldn't recommend it. But in its own way, it certainly is a strong car. The top speed is well over 200, the acceleration is very good, the handling is by far its best point, with phenomenal grip, great brakes, fantastic drivability, and overall, it is a pretty good collector's piece. So, I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.